Well, let's take you back to our headline story now. The funeral service for retired Justice Yvonne Mokgoro is set to take place at Bryanston Catholic Church in Johannesburg today. Mokgoro will receive a special official funeral Category 1. President Cyril Ramaphosa is set to deliver the eulogy during today's service. The retired Constitutional Court Justice passed away earlier this month after a long hospital stay following a car crash last year. She was 73. Watching developments for us in Bryanston is our reporter Kenny Mapanga, who joins us now live for a sense of how things are proceeding there. And Kenny, the official service, if you like, is set to begin at 10 o'clock, but of course a number of people have started arriving.
Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Indeed, scores of dignitaries, including the former colleagues of Justice Yvonne Mokgoro, have arrived at the Bryanston Catholic Church ahead of that official Category 1 funeral. Ayanda, just to quickly get to it, we are limited in time. I am joined by Deputy Chief Justice Moseneke ahead of the 10 a.m. service this morning. He was part of the group, the 1994 group that started in the Constitutional Court and I guess led the legacy towards this transformative project, rather, of the Constitution and South Africa's judiciary. Quite tragic news. Condolences to you and the fellow judges as you reflect on the life and legacy of Justice Mokgoro. What can you tell us?
Justice Mokgoro, you'll remember, was one of the magnificent 11, I call them. She was the first of the 2 women judges who came onto the court. And she came in a route that is quite special. She's an academic. She was a law professor, having studied here and in the US, and came in to come onto our court. I worked with her for nearly a decade. She is the quintessential judge. Truly, not only a leader, but he has such a deep sense of humanity. She's the first judge who wrote in a law report about Ubuntu, that quintessential humanity that she had in abundance, and she was saying it ought to inspire our relationships, our constitution, our understanding of the law. So she is one of a kind, very special. But the second thing is she was so assertive of the right place for women in our society and demonstrated it at every time that she put pen to paper, that she spoke. So she was truly special. And I know something about this. I lived next to her. She was my neighbor in court for 10 years. So we in deep mourning and we shared the same language. And when she was aggrieved, she would come to me and say, Mokwena, so she could speak and transition immediately into a larger universal humanity. She was not locked up into a Tswana-ness, but was a true global person in true and constant search for justice. And I think she did find peace in that sense.
And just before we quickly let you go, DCJ, we're in an exciting time for the judiciary. While she was the first black woman justice in 1994, 30 years since the dawn of democracy, we're now one step closer to a black woman chief justice. I'm sure if she still were here today, she'd be incredibly proud of the advancement of women in the legal profession.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I joined the nation to be excited. Chief Justice Maya, as she will be very soon, will provide that leadership that Justice Mokgoro yearned for and looked for all the time. So we're on a good trajectory, and I hope it begins to reposition also the primary importance of women in our society and would put a stop to all the stupidity of, viral men who just don't know how central and important and everything our women are. Thank you
so much for your time, DCJ Moseneke there, reflecting on the rich life.
You must buy me chocolates.
Thank you so much, DC. Thank you, DCJ. And there he is reflecting on the life and legacy of Justice Yvonne Mokgoro, talking about her as a professor of law, ascending to that Constitutional Court bench, and then serving that full term of 15 years, and upon retirement, strengthened that South African judiciary, but went on to strengthen other judiciaries of Lesotho and Namibia. I stand to be corrected. She served in those those appellate courts and has done much work in order to incorporate the principles of Ubuntu and human rights in South African law. Now, just to give you a brief outline of the venue ahead of that 10 a.m. service, of course, many dignitaries and judges are starting to arrive ahead of that 10 a.m. service. The Deputy Chief Justice, Mandisa Maya, who has been recommended by the JSC to take on that helm, quite an important moment, and that really is the legacy of judges such as Yvonne Mokgoro, has already made her way inside that church ahead of the service. We've seen a number of judges from divisions across the country, as well as SCA President Judge Mulemela, have made their way into the church for that service. We'll continue to monitor some of these arrivals ahead of that 10 a.m. service. You know, the President will be delivering that eulogy. We expect for that to start taking place around 10 to 12 today. Over to you in studio, Ayanda.
Yeah, it's certainly a sight of judicial heavyweights who are there to bid farewell to somebody who's made such a great contribution to the country's judiciary. Kenny Mapanga, live to us there from the Bryanston Catholic Church. As she was speaking, by the way, you might have seen visuals inside the church. The current Chief Justice, the incumbent, Raymond Zondo, has also taken his seat. And once again, we'll certainly hear from him and many others who are said to have a word or two once proceedings get underway at 10 o'clock.